Hello, friends. Today I will talk about Kang. She is a South Korean writer who last day won the Nobel Prize in Literature. So, very happy to inform you that we have a Nobel laureate or Nobel Prize winner in 2024. She has also won the Booker Prize in 2015. And let us talk about her. She is a very intellectual writer, she is very enlightening writer, and she is also very interesting writer. So she was born on 27th November 1970 as Gwangju, South Korea, and later moved to Seoul. Seoul is the capital of South Korea. She has published works in more than 30 languages. She is an international little star who has also won, you can say, multiple awards. As I have discussed earlier, that she has also won the 2015 Booker Prize. She has won, or she has been awarded uh, in Korea as well as in Europe. She is right now. She is the first Asian woman and the first South Korean uh, writer to win the Nobel Literature Prize. She was awarded for books including The Vegetarian and The Human Acts. Right? See, what are the reasons? The Nobel Committee found very pertinent reasons for awarding this great lady Nobel Prize in Literature. So, as per the opinions of the Nobel Committee, it is for her poetic and unsettling body of work that confronts historical traumas and exposes fragility of human life. So, in her work, she finds is very interestingly able to describe traumas and fragility of human life. She describes absurdity of human life, and her works are about trauma, pain, and loss. And she reflects compassion and, you can say, care for human beings. And that is why she has been awarded this year the Nobel Prize in Literature. Let us talk about her works. The Black Deer is her debut novel, and it was published in 1998. It marks the beginning of her literary career, and it is notable for her exploration of complex themes and character dynamics. It is also innovatively, you can say, set, and in her later works, it is no miss. It paved her success in her later work. Then the Your Cold Hands, right? This is a novella by Hancock, and in it she intricately explores the themes of body identity and the interplay between art and existence. Let me remind you the you can say the Ode on Grecian Urn by John Keats, right? The narrative centers around a sculptor who becomes obsessed with creating plaster cast of female bodies, particularly focusing on his model Yon Hai, right? So it is the character of Yon Hai is very important in this novel, and it is divided into three parts, right? And in each of them, the writer reveals various facets of various aspects of human relationships. Yon Hai is the central figure. She is female, right? And she is portrayed as both the subject of sculpture's obsession and a representation of broader themes, right? Like femininity, autonomy, identity, right? And thus, artist, right? He has his artistic ambitions and ethical implication of objectifying the model. So the issue discussed by the writer is very important here. It is the objectification of a woman, both in art as well as in reality. So the novella is very important because it explores the themes of femininity, objectification of women, as well as how art reflects, you can say, a character, and how character is objectifying, or you can say it is objectified too by someone in art. So these are the issues, key issues you must read the novel about. Right? So it is the key themes are objective application versus subjectivity, right? Then body and identity is very important issue described in the novel, or you can say novella. Then isolation, all right? Then how art can reveal deeper truths about human experience, human existence, and human identity, right? Then how the novel is also a critique of societal norms, right? It is also you can say it advocates gender and identity of the woman, right? So the writer invites the readers to reflect on complexity of human life, particularly the selfhood of in a world which has, you can say, a male dominating kind of structure and society which is full of expectations from the woman. Very interesting novel by Hanka is uh, The Vegetarian. The story is very interesting. As far as India is concerned, the story of this novel is very, very interesting. So it is unsettling novel. It talks about the themes of, or it explores the themes of identity, societal norms, and struggle for autonomy or identity. Here we have also a character called Yon Hai, right? She one day she had a dream, and in that dream she had violent, you can say, experience of some meat, and that is why watching violent scenes of meat and, you can say, cruelty. So she is in a wood, in her dream she is in a wood, and there she watches lumps of meat, right? And she's facing these lumps of meat, and some lumps are there also in her mouth, and that scene is particularly, specifically very cruel, very, you can say, very very violent. And in the morning she decides, see, that I will not eat meat from today, right? So this choice, how she changes, means how this choice changes her life, her personal relations, her family relations, right? And how it leads her to somewhat called family crisis in the novel. And that is why this novel is very important as far as we Indians are concerned, right? We generally, you can say, like to live, you can say, non-veg. And this is the title. The title suggests the vegetarian, or you can say veggie, we famously talk about, right? So this kind of vegan, you can say, she wants to be, and this is her struggle for her identity. Is she have, or does she have a choice to be vegan? Can she live non-veg food? Right. So that is these are important themes. Or and secondly, very important aspect of her life is depicted in the novel is her struggle for identity, her struggle to have her own individuality or individual right to choose her food. Very important aspect, right? Very important modern aspect as far as the question of, you can say, woman empowerment is concerned. So it is divided into three parts, and Han can tells a story of Yonha, right? She decides to become vegetarian, and how this leads her to have some conflict with her husband and family. So it leads towards hostility of the family, right? And these are the themes: identity, autonomy, transformation, choice, isolation, misunderstanding. Sometimes we misunderstand the female or the woman, right? And patriarchy is also very important issue, gender roles, right? Because her husband is very, you can say, male dominating fellow, and he thinks that woman must follow the norms of society and norms of family, right? So ritualistic, or you can say family norms are, you can say, they are to be followed by the woman. And see, then that means that is the crisis in the novel, where she suffers. Means she suffers from the anxiety and stress, and she questions about her identity, her freedom, her right to choose, her right to have a proper choice. That's important. And at last, the novel, in the novel, right? She becomes Kang. She has some traumatic experience. She becomes somewhat mad in the novel. All right. So themes of violence, fragility of human life is also uh, there in a novel, Breath Fighting, right? In 2010, it was published, right? The narrative is fragmented and poetic, and it reflects emotional turmoil, right? Where the protagonist has some existential questions, and there is a character of fighter, right? He discusses about vulnerability of human life. He discusses about strength. He reflects his aggression, right? So violence is there, war is there, right? In this novel, right? Another novel is 2011, Greek Lessons, right? And it is recently translated into English, and it is a novel in which the writer explores the themes of language trauma and connection through lives of two main characters. Right, there is a young woman who has become mute, and her teacher. See, this is a novel which explores the relationship between a teacher and the taught, a teacher and a student, right? They communicate, and how they share their feelings, how they share their emotions, how their interactions, right? Bridges the gap between their relations, and how how this communication shapes their character is reflected in this novel, or you can say, sorry, novella, right? It was published in 2011, and it talks about a teacher, discusses the two characters, teacher and a student, right? Human Acts, right? Published in 2014, is a powerful and harrowing exploration of human condition, right? It is set against the backdrop of Gwangju uprising in South Korea, right? In 1980s. It examines the themes of brutality, trauma, resilience of the human spirit, right? So it has many interconnected narratives, but violence is the theme, trauma is the theme, brutality is the theme, and human conflict is a theme of this novel. All right, and it explores how human life is fragile, how it has to face, you can say, humans have to face cruelty, and how they have to balance between cruelty and humanity. All right, so she describes violence there, right, in the novel, and how violence, injustice, or cruelty occur in the world, and how one can establish some human values. That is, you can say, a moral point in the novel. The White Book, it is introspective work, a novel, all right? It mediates the themes of grief, memory, identity, right? And it is structured as a series of poetic reflections, right? For example, The Golden Gate, right, by Vikram Seth. Then We Do Not Part is a recent novella, All right, it has themes of memory, trauma, and enduring impact of historical violence. Right, and it is also set against Jeju uprising. All right, and it talks about how two friends, all right, meet. And in the atmosphere or in the environment which is violent, cruel, right? So cruelty and violence is there in the novel. This is a short story collection, all right? Fire, Salander, and in it we have a very good story, and that story is the fruit of my woman, right? Very important, and you can say very interesting story, and it explores the theme of transformation. Let me also remind you Kafka's novella, The Metamorphosis. So, in Metamorphosis, Gregor Samsa is transformed into an insect, a bug. While in this short story, a woman is transformed into a plant. All right, and it is the story which describes the metamorphosis of a woman into a plant. So there is a couple, difunctional couple, and right, they are living. All right, a very important aspect of the story is the husband who neglects his wife, but after she is deceased and she is transformed into a plant, she the husband resurrects his love for his wife, and now his love is restored, and he can miss he miss he is in you can say new kind of love, right, for her wife. And means after her transformation into plant, he cares a lot about his wife. Earlier, he neglects her, and he neglects his duty as a husband. But now he is taking care of her wife. So she becomes tree, right? She transformed. So this is also a physical transformation into a tree. In metamorphosis, Gregor Samsa is transformed into a bug, while in here, this lady is transformed into a plant or a tree. All right. Thank you so much. I wish you will share and subscribe my channel, and uh, uh, I will share some interesting videos. So today is a good day for the students of literature, and I personally congratulate Kang, the South Korean writer. And uh, as far as let me recollect or let me some recap some themes. Right, she has described human identity, moral values, then ambiguity of life, absurdity of life, how war and cruelty change people, how art is connected to the connection between art and life, and how human relations are not so stable. They are unstable and they are fragile. So she talks about the futility of human relations. Thank you. Thank you so much.